today also in London, because Martin Zubimendi, the first signing of the summer for Arsenal under the new director Andrea Berta, was in London today together with his agent to complete formal steps of his move to Arsenal. Today, Arsenal and Real Sociedad have completed and signed all the documents, so we can consider Martin Zubimendi as a new Arsenal player. We had many rumors, especially on Real Madrid from Spain in the recent weeks. I always told you Martin Zubimendi will be an Arsenal player, Martin Zubimendi will go to Arsenal, Arsenal have everything agreed for Zubimendi, just waiting to sign. Today everything was signed, and so Zubimendi to Arsenal was a here we go in May, and is confirmed today. The transfer fee will not be the 60 million euros of the release clause. They will pay something around 64 million euros, close to 65, so slightly more, but to have better payment terms. So Real Sociedad will receive around 64 million euros in few years, and so installments confirmed Martin Zubimendi as new midfielder for Arsenal. So the agreement is done and now sealed for Martin Zubimendi to be a new midfielder for Mikel Arteta.
I think what would it mean for Declan Rice? I mean, it seemed to me that Declan Rice is probably going to be the one that suffers most out of this, because he's going to have to drop deep. You know, Declan Rice last year, in my opinion, pushed himself from being a defensive midfielder who won the ball, got it back and gave it to others, to a guy who was actually carrying the ball forward, getting in the opposition penalty box and creating problems. So I think he's going to be affected more than anybody else. And I don't understand it. You know, Thomas Partey last year was absolutely one of the defensive rocks that team has been built on over Arteta's years. So for them to lose him, that means a team that, in my opinion, needed one spot up front. Put all your money into that position. That's the position and that's the spot that can maybe win you the Premier League. To now, they're going to have to use some of that money to replace Partey if they don't re-sign him. So, every which way you look, it weakens Arsenal. It weakens them from the Declan Rice point of view. It weakens them from a financial point of view. It weakens them being able to go and spend a lot of money on a centre forward. And ultimately, it weakens them defensively. So, them not figuring this out with Thomas Partey, in my opinion, is absolutely huge. I mean, a guy who 18 months ago, had he left, we wouldn't have been particularly bothered, I don't believe. But in the last 18 months, the way he's performed, he absolutely has cemented himself as one of the rocks defensively. And that's going to disappear. And that weakens Arsenal.
So keep up to date with that situation and many more with our transfer target, a new transfer expert with us here at ESPN FC as well. But when it comes to the Premier League fixtures, we wanted to show you match day 1 through 6 for Manchester United, Arsenal and Burnley, because this is looking tough for these three teams. And after 6 rounds, we're going to get a good idea. You know, things could really be at a bad or a very good say for all of these teams after those first 6 games. Stevie, you're grimacing.
It could be me. The way I was brought up at Liverpool was the only game when the fixtures came out you were concerned about was the first one.
So you're not looking at, oh, that looks tough though for us?
No, absolutely 100% not. No. No, the only thing you're thinking about, or I thought about and we thought about, was the first game. You know, you want a home game, you don't care who it's against. And if it's an away game, you don't want one of the promoted teams, because it's the biggest game for them in whatever. That was the only things that I thought and we thought about. We weren't concerned who was 2 weeks down the line or 3 weeks down the line. You know, we weren't sitting going, well, we can get points here, we can get points there, we can do it. No. It is the oldest line in the book. It's the one game at a time. And that's exactly what you should do. You can't be looking at it. And certainly if you're Burnley, it doesn't matter who Burnley are playing. Every single game for Burnley is a cup final. So, no. Listen, we opened the season in '87 against Arsenal. First game of the season at Highbury. And we weren't going there to make a mark or make a statement. No, we were just going there to try and win the game and do well. So, yeah, I don't understand. I understand fans. And I get it that some players look for certain fixtures. But in general, that's not what you should be doing. You look at the first game and then you go from there.
Stevie definitely didn't care. Did you care?
No, is the answer. It's a short answer. And the reason you don't care is because the whole preseason, even though the size of this preseason for those teams that are participating in the Club World Cup is shorter than it should, but I'm not going to go there. The whole preseason, you're thinking about that first game. Yeah. I think coaches, maybe they close the door. Once they close the door and they look at their schedule, and if they have a tough start, they go, oh, man, we better get points here. We got to get points over there, because you start budgeting points. And you start telling yourself, after so many games, we should have this amount of points. I think some coaches will address it that way. But for the player, you are concerned about, can I be fit and ready to go for that first game? And then once that game happens, then you've already started the long grind of a season, and you're focusing on, once that game is done, we focus on regen so that we prepare for the next match. Especially, and I'm glad you highlighted Burnley, because it's easy to talk about Manchester United and it's easy to talk about Arsenal, apparently far more interesting stories. But if you're Burnley, every game you're an underdog. Every game is going to be tough. What's the point here? What are we trying to say about Burnley? Every time they show up to play, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a grind, and they're going to have to survive many of these matches. So to say they have a tough first 6 matches, how about they're going to have a tough 30 matches? It's going to be a difficult season regardless. As for Manchester United, I don't even know what we're showing them, because according to their board, a couple of weeks ago, or actually not even that long ago, they said, listen, the project is for 2028. 2028. So next year is 2026. What, 25, 26, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be ahead of schedule if Manchester United plays well. And why are we bothering with Manchester United just period? When it's, what are we, June? Mm-hmm. Little
Arsenal appear unlikely to confirm any new summer signings until July has arrived, for 2 key reasons. In the meantime, other Premier League sides have spent the last few weeks actively working on deals, with title rivals Liverpool and Manchester City agreeing 3 deals each. Ryan Cherki, Tijani Reinders and Ryan Arinori have joined the latter, while the champions have officially announced Jeremy Frimpong and Florian Wirtz. A deal for Bournemouth's Milos Kerkez has also been agreed. The Spanish club also made a request in negotiations for the deal not to be ratified until July, due to accounting reasons, with that suggesting his switch may not be officially announced for another 10 days. Discussions for Benjamin Sesko, Victor Gyökeres and Rodrigo have also taken place, but the Zubimendi deal is comfortably the furthest advanced for Arsenal, and for another perhaps understandable reason, new signings may not be confirmed until next month. That is because most of their targets are still on holiday, with the Times subscription required stating that no club wants to pay unnecessary wages. The expectation is deals will be accelerated around the turn of the month, with it made clear the club are not panicking. The main drawback from this strategy is that any potential delay could impact the club's pre-season plans, with it much better to have fresh faces bedded in as early as possible. It is also likely very stressful for supporters to watch others strengthening their squad while minimal movement is made in North London. Though a transfer for Sesko looks to still be in its early stages, that's the one likely to be fast-tracked, as RB Leipzig are keen to sell early into the summer so they can use funds obtained to bring in a replacement.